So you do know how to manage your finances. And if you do, you're on the right track, and do not get off of those tracks because it can save you a lot of time and money. My name is Paul Lawrence Van, and this is episode 278. I can't believe it. I'm rolling along, but I'm really enjoying sharing my financial expertise with you. And I hope that you're along for the ride, and it's going to be a good one. And what I want to talk about today is financial literacy. And what it makes me think about is this: how my parents and grandparents, financial literacy didn't exist when they were roaming the earth as human beings. And now that in my generation, I didn't have financial literacy either, which is so interesting. And now, in the school that my children attended, they could not graduate from high school without having financial literacy as one of their courses that they had to complete. Most of it is because of 2007, 2008 time frame, when there was a great financial setback, the Great Recession, we called it, and it was global, if you can remember. And as a result, the county that in which we live in made it mandatory. And I did play a role in it, and I'll share it just quickly. When I retired from the Air Force, I worked and volunteered for the governor of the state of Maryland. And one of the initiatives that we were trying to promote was to get financial literacy in as an elective in school for children in high school. And now that was Senate Bill 500 at the time. We actually went and met with the Maryland state legislatures, and they made it an elective, but now it's mandatory, not only as an elective, but all students, if they're to graduate from high school, they have to complete financial literacy. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Again, this is what we're talking about today. What is financial literacy? Financial literacy is the ability to manage money properly. And that's exactly what I'll be talking about and sharing with you today. I did, in fact, attend a course for financial literacy, and I was actually promoting it throughout the greater DC, Maryland, and Virginia area for many years. And so now I'm taking this to the podcast where people are serious about what they want to do. So if you're ready, I'm ready, and we're going to get kicked off here. So again, what the key components of financial literacy is this: you have to have some understanding of budgeting. Now, you don't have to have been a business major or accounting major, but you at least need to know the fundamentals. It's something that I say that grandma or grandpa or mom or dad would have done. They've got out a sheet of paper, got a pencil or a pen, and they would just write down what their particular budget is based on the income that they were receiving, and then their expenses going out, the mortgage on the house, the utilities, the insurance, and of course, school supplies for their favorite son, Paul. Oh, that's me. But yeah, budget mastery. Financial literacy begins with a deep understanding of budgeting. And of course, it involves learning how to track income, control spending, and plan for future financial goals. And in a nutshell, that's what it's all about. People think that it's something deeper than that, but actually it's not. It's basically just accountability for what you earn and what you spend. So it's income and expenses. And you know, you purchase some items and then you pay for them. That's what responsible people do. And then we have to have what's called debt management. So a major part of financial literacy is understanding how to manage and reduce debt. That's the key. We can't outspend our income, because if we do, we might lose our job. So we don't want to do that. So what does it include, debt management? It includes knowing how interest rates work, differentiating between good debt, which is mortgage or student loans, it depends, and bad debt, high interest credit card debt, and using strategies like debt snowball or debt avalanche, which I've talked about before. Those methods help eliminate debt liabilities. And then saving an investment acumen. That's part of financial literacy as well, knowing that you need to save something for the long run, or a rainy day, we used to call it. But being proficient in financial literacy also means having a solid savings strategy. It involves building an emergency fund and knowing how to allocate money for both short-term and long-term needs. And now the survey had come out that some people don't have $400 in case they have an emergency. They could have a flat tire, something happened to the car, a medical bill, or it could just be that their utilities, that they have to add a new appliance or something. But most people don't have $400, which is really kind of hard to believe, but it's a fact. And then on a previous episode, I talked about credit score management, and the thing about that is financial literacy includes knowing how credit scores work and why they're important. So a good credit score opens doors to lower interest rates on loans, higher credit limits, and better financial opportunities. So we all know what credit scores is all about, and then how to develop a strong one. Of course, I maxed out kind of at 820 on my way to trying to get to 850, and I've yet to get to 850. So I'm still thriving, if you will. And then understanding taxation. Anyone that thinks they can work and not pay taxes, they may want to take a class in financial literacy. But understanding taxation, tax literacy is another pillar of financial proficiency, and it includes knowing how uh, income tax works, understanding tax brackets, and using tax deductions and credits effectively to reduce the amount owed to the government. So we know every January when most of our receipts come in from the income and from our expenses, and then it's time to file those annual taxes. And we have to be ready for that. Keep your receipts is my going in position. Then insurance and risk management. So proper financial literacy requires understanding the different ways of insurance, such as health, life, and disability, and how they can protect against unforeseen risks. So we don't want to play in the game of, well, I don't have insurance, because that's a game that you would lose, because at the price of things today, including medical or health care, you need and we need to have some insurance, life insurance, disability, long-term insurance, etc. And then what about our goals? We want to have some financial goal settings. You planning on going to retirement? Are you planning on a vacation? You planning on paying off? To me, a financial goal, if you happen to have student loans, to pay that off. So proficiency in financial literacy involves the ability to set realistic and achievable financial goals, both short-term and paying off a car loan, and long-term buying a house and saving for retirement. So those are good things to consider. And my question to everyone is, are you thinking about it? Are you considering it? I'll raise my hand and say yes. And so we want to have some financial goals out there, because it gives us something to strive for. And then what about continuous learning, where you learn about financial literacy? There are courses all over the globe, but you want to be more specific in terms of how can I, meaning you, or how could Paul learn financial literacy, of which I have learned and I've taught people. And so the financial landscape is constantly evolving with new tools, products, and that means some apps out there, and regulation emerging regularly. So you want to be able to be on the top of this by learning all the time. So let's talk about the value of financial literacy. I think that's very important, to give people a little bit more juice to run on. And so when it comes to this, it helps with improved decision making. So financial literacy empowers individuals to make sound financial decisions. Life is all about the decisions we make. We cannot forget this, because the better decisions we make in life, the better results we receive. And we can all agree to that. And so that's definitely one thing that we want to ensure that we continue to do, is to improve our decision making, and then reduce financial stress. A person who is stressed out with financial debt cannot focus. And when people have control over their finances, they experience a lot less stress, because there's one less thing, which is a big one, to be concerned with, to worry about. So knowing that you can handle emergencies and pay off debt and save for the future provides peace of mind. And to me, no mistake when it comes to financial literacy. It's everything. And then you want to increase your worth. And so financial literacy contributes to wealth accumulation by making smart investments, avoiding unnecessary debt, and taking advantage of compound interest. People can grow their assets over time. And just a little bit each month. I can remember the time I asked my grandmother, I said, "Grandmother, what are you doing?" And so she's putting her money in the mattress. I guess we would call that a personal local bank. And that's what they used to do back in the day, because women You have to remember this, could not put money, have a bank account until the year, I believe it's 1974. And so things were a lot different, but now you can do everything. So you want also greater financial independence. So financial literacy promotes independence by ensuring that people don't have to rely on others. And so I think this is a very important point because everyone wants to be independent. We don't necessarily want to have to rely on anyone because we're responsible adults and we can help ourselves. We're not asking for a handout. We're just asking for a hand on occasion. And so that's really what that's all about. So greater financial independence. And then what about the generational impact? Are you going to leave an inheritance for your children? And I had this on one of the previous episodes, and I talked about whether baby boomers would leave their Generation Z children or grandchildren an inheritance. And someone sent me an email and they said, well, typically it wouldn't be a baby boomer. I said, no, I have two children that are Generation Z, and I'm a baby boomer. They're a lot more than you think. We just decided to have children at a later time. So you want to look at that inheritance and you want to see exactly what you're going to do for your children. And trust me, Generation Z children, they're looking at their parents, meaning me, to leave them something to help them with their financial strategies for the future. And I'm telling them, you better get a job and you better work. And that's what my parents told me. And I think that's a great thing. And then what about protection against financial pitfalls? We know they happen. It could be hacked or you could be scammed. And you also make some bad investments that are out there. You know, with the cryptocurrency, people ran into a few problems. A lot of people are succeeding at it, but if you lose it because it's not protected by the federal government, by the federal government, then you could lose everything. But if you have a bank account up to $250,000 in an account, then that will be protected by the government. But for Bitcoin, it's really kind of like the wild, wild west. So you have to be really careful out there. And then what about the enhanced quality of life? It doesn't mean that you're better than anybody else, but it means that you have money if you need to go to the doctor, being able to pay your healthcare bills, if you want to take a vacation every now and then, and different things such as that. Whatever school your children want to go to, etc. So becoming proficient at financial literacy is an ongoing journey. It, of course, includes the education, discipline, and application. It's a trifecta. So the value it adds to one's lifestyle through increased wealth, reduced stress, and financial independence. It cannot be overstated. And so today, what I want you to take from today is I want you to be very financial literate, and I don't want anyone to be able to take advantage of you when you make bad investments, whether it be real estate, whether it be any other type of investment tool that is out there. You need to know what's taking place. And I even advocate for people doing their own taxes because you know, you can get an app now that can actually walk you through it. And so to me, that's very important things to do. But in closing, I just want to let you know that this is episode 278. And what I want you to do is to go back through it a couple of times and also encourage your family, friends, and colleagues to listen to it as well. Go out to Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star rating and a positive review. We thank you. And I also want you to go out to my YouTube channel, which is www.youtube.com/the @ Wealth Academy podcast /videos. Get out there. And if you want a free coaching session, I also have it on the banner here. And you can contact me if you want a free 15-minute financial analysis and seeing if I can help you even more. Again, the name is Paul Lawrence Van. My time is up, and I thank you for yours. I'll see you on the next episode of Wealth Academy Podcast. Have a great day, everyone, and thank you so much.